Ordinary?
Yeah.
I guess plain, simple, what most people do, what most people are accustomed to expecting. Extraordinary. I didn't know this was going to be so intense. Extraordinary is when somebody goes way above and beyond what is expected of them or expected of most people their age, their education, their background. I'm definitely ready to retire, but I wouldn't say I'm excited about it. I still enjoy coming to work every day. I know I'm going to miss kids tremendously. I'm not going to miss the minutia of having to work every day and answer to a boss and do all the stuff that adults are expected to do. The administrative procedural stuff that is true of any educational institution. That stuff I'm not going to miss at all. Broadcasting has always attracted great students. And you know, if we hadn't had great students who I could give a lot of responsibility to down through the years, and for those kids to handle that responsibility so professionally in such an adult way, you know, I could tell them to do things and count on them and depend on them to be able to do those things that was expected of them, really give them adult responsibilities. And because of that, the administration has always believed in this program, the community has always believed in this program, and I think it's had a really great effect, not just on kids who want to be broadcasters someday in the future, but anyone who takes the class can gain from the experience. I think one of the things that is definitely true is it's amazing, and the same thing happened to me. Sometimes just one sentence or two comments to a student can make a big difference in their lives. When I was a student here at HF in the early 70s, I was taking sophomore speech class, and my speech teacher had us do this radio newscast assignment. I wasn't involved in the broadcasting program before that assignment, and after I gave my newscast, two things really I can remember to this day. First of all, the class gave me a standing ovation, which they'd never done in my class before for anyone. And secondly, my speech teacher at the time, Mr. Betcher, said, "Hey, you got a great voice for broadcasting, you should get involved in the program." And I did the next year, my junior and senior year, and look what a difference that's made, not only in my life, but a lot of other people's lives as well. So I've always recognized that sometimes just going a little bit out of your way to say something positive to a kid can make a huge difference. And a lot of kids have come back and told me, referred to specific instances like that I've done, and I'm real proud of that. There's so many things. And there's so many great experiences. I could go on and on. Things that are coming to mind. When Bill Clinton came to HF, that was a really exciting day. When the administration, probably the first 5 years I was at HF, we had 1 year where the enrollment was down a little bit in seminar, and they were going to combine production 2 with seminar into one period. And I had fought real hard in years before that to separate the two classes so that the 3rd and 4th year class would meet one period and production 2 a different period. And we literally had to fight the administration to keep those courses separate. And we actually went to a Board of Education meeting one night and had over 100 kids who had been in the program, were in the program, or wanted to take the program in the future, all demonstrating at a school board meeting that that broadcast seminar remained intact curricularly the way it had been for the last several years. And initially, the superintendent at the time looked at me like I was the enemy. In fact, he called me the enemy at one point during the meeting, right before the meeting started. And I looked at him and said, "I'm not going to do anything tonight that's going to embarrass you or this school. This has been a great program. We believe in it, and we'd just like to see it continue." And then his tone kind of changed, and we did our presentation, and the school board president made a motion to keep the program the way it was, and it was seconded and then passed unanimously. And I was told later on by the superintendent that it was the only time in his tenure of over 20 years that the Board of Education reversed his recommendation unanimously. Yeah. And the kids, when we prevailed, hoisted me on their shoulders and carried me back to the radio station. So that was pretty cool. Some of the little things like seeing kids who I really thought were going to struggle in this program, and they blossomed. You know, that's been exciting to see. You know, some kids come with a lot of natural talent and a lot of natural ability, and you know they're going to be successful at what they're doing. But there's some kids who like, what are they doing in this program? And 3-4 years later, they turn themselves around and really become very successful, either in broadcasting or something unrelated to broadcasting, but they turn themselves around, and I think this program does have that kind of impact sometimes with kids. For me, it's been an extraordinary experience. I've just had the time of my life. There hasn't been a day, you know, there are times when you get home and like, oh my gosh, what a day that was, but I always look forward to coming to school, and I've always enjoyed what I'm doing. I have no regrets. So if you can say that after 34 years, I guess that's pretty extraordinary, at least from a personal standpoint.